Vision Forward's In Focus team presents.
Hi, I'm Cory Ballard, and welcome back to another deep dive. Today we are doing a deep dive into the Amazon Fire TV. You may have caught one of our previous videos on the Apple TV. We are focusing on different streaming devices that allow individuals living with vision loss the ability to access streaming content such as Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. If you didn't have a chance to check out our Apple TV video, take a break, or when you're done with this one, go check out that video. Today we're diving into the Amazon Fire TV stick. The Amazon Fire TV comes in a number of different flavors. You can get the Fire Stick, which is a less expensive way to get into the Amazon Fire TV environment. You can get the more expensive Amazon Fire Cube, or you can get TVs with the Amazon Fire TV built into them. What is the Amazon Fire TV? Well, this is a device that allows you to stream and connect to different online platforms such as Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Depending on which version of the Amazon Fire TV you get, it typically is not a replacement for your television. Most individuals may be looking for the Amazon Fire Stick. This is typically a $50 or less device that can plug into your existing TV to give you the functionality that we're looking at today. So some of the requirements that are needed. First, you do need an HDMI port on your television. That's how the Fire Stick is going to connect to your TV. So if you have a flat screen TV, most likely you have an HDMI port that it will work with. You also need Wi-Fi, wireless internet. The Amazon Fire Stick does not support a hardwire connection, so you want to make sure you have wireless internet in the home. Once you have those requirements fulfilled, then we can start looking at and enjoying the Amazon Fire TV. The way we're going to access that Amazon Fire TV is through the included remote. The remote is quite easy to use. They have very nice physical tactile buttons with some good spacing between them. First of all, let's go over what some of the buttons are on the remote so that you can more easily use your device. In the top left corner, we have a power button. That is going to power off your Amazon Fire TV stick and also your TV that it's connected to if it's supported. In the center top, we have a larger microphone button, which is what allows you to control the Alexa that's built into the Amazon Fire TV. If you have an Alexa already in your home or an Amazon Echo, a lot of that functionality you'll find right built into your Amazon Fire TV. Below that, we have a typical diagonal pad, up, down, left, right, and in the center is OK. Below that, we have a row of 3 buttons. Starting from the left, we have back. The center is home with a little tactile nub on there. And on the right is menu. Below that is another row of 3 buttons. On the left is rewind. Center is play pause. And on the right is fast forward. Below those 2 rows, we have a vertical rocker, which is our volume key. Up is volume up. On the bottom is volume down. And right below that volume down is a single round button, and that's our mute button. That's the total of all the buttons on our remote, and that's how we are going to control our Amazon Fire TV. So what are some of the accessibility features that are included with an Amazon Fire TV? Well, there's 2 main accessibility features those living with vision loss would be interested in. First, we have a screen reader that's called Voice View. That's going to give us spoken feedback of all of the menus and content as we move around the device. Second is magnification. That is if we have low vision and we'd like to increase the size of the text or magnify things, we can do that as well. As we look around the Amazon Fire TV, you will be hearing it speak, and that's because I have Voice View enabled. As somebody who is blind, I need voice view up and running so that we can move around the Amazon Fire TV and I know where I am. Let's look at how can we enable the accessibility features provided by the Amazon Fire TV. Well, all of that's going to be found under our settings menu. Once we've got our Amazon Fire TV connected via HDMI, we've gone through the initial setup, let's go ahead and look at where we can enable some of those accessibility features. Across the top strip or the main menu of options, we're looking for settings. So we're going to go ahead and use the right arrow on our directional pad and we'll move across that main menu, that main strip of options until we land on settings.
Live, 3 of 8. Your videos, 4 of 8. Movies, 5 of 8. TV shows, 6 of 8. Apps, 7 of 8. Settings, 8 of 8.
And there's settings. And as each time I moved and each time I pressed the remote, you heard Voice View speak both the name of the option I landed on and also the number of where it fell in the menu. So you had an idea of where you're located within that menu. We've now landed on the settings option and you heard Voice View each time I pressed the right arrow. It spoke both the name of the menu option we landed on and the number of that option, giving us a good idea of where we're located. Once we've moved over to the main menu, it now displays that menu on the screen. In order to get into that menu for Voice View so that we can take a look at what options are within the settings app, we'll go ahead and use our down arrow.
1. Notifications, 1 of 13.
We hear Voice View tell us that we landed on notifications, and we also heard that it is 1 of 13 here. Now we're looking for accessibility, so we're going to go ahead and use our right arrow. We're going to move a little bit more quickly because I know that accessibility is third from the last option. So rather than going ahead and hitting a right arrow, listening, I can just hit my right arrow more quickly and skip over options I don't need. So we're going to move over and find accessibility.
Network, display, application, equipment, live TV, controller, Alexa, preferences, my Fire, accessibility, 11 of 13.
Perfect. That's what we wanted. We'll go ahead and press the OK button in the center of our directional pad to go into accessibility.
Accessibility, closed caption, 1 of 4.
We have a total of 4 options within our accessibility menu, and here it's a vertical menu. So we're going to use our up and down arrows to move through our options. Our first was closed captioning. I'm going to go ahead and press the down arrow to move to our next option.
Voice View, 2 of 4. Managed voice guidance settings, including turning Voice View on and off, reading speed, and volume.
So Voice View gives us a little hint when we land on it, telling us what this menu option is responsible for. It told us this is where we can go to turn on and off Voice View, and also where we can go to adjust Voice View settings, including the speaking rate or how fast it speaks. Now, a little side note, when you first get your Amazon Fire TV stick and you plug it in and you're getting ready to go through that setup process, we want speech during that time. It would be difficult or almost impossible for us to set up the device without Voice View running during that process. So they have built in a shortcut on the remote in order for us to turn on Voice View right from the get-go so that we can have it while we do our setup process. And the way that we turn Voice View on and off quickly from the remote is by holding down the back button and the menu button. Again, on the remote control, right below the directional pad, the first row of 3 buttons, we have on the left is back, middle is home with the little tactile button, and on the right is the menu button. So pressing and holding down the leftmost and rightmost button will enable Voice View right from the setup process. Or, once setup is done, if for any reason we want to turn on or turn off Voice View quickly, we can use that same shortcut via the remote control. We'll go ahead and use our down arrow and move to the next accessibility option.
Screen magnifier, on, 3 of 4. Enables the use of button combinations to magnify the screen.
And Voice View told us this is our magnifier, and if we went into this option by hitting our OK button, we'd have the ability to turn magnifier on and off, and it would also list out the needed commands on the remote control in order to control magnifier, which we'll do in just a moment. The last option that we have in here is
High contrast text, experimental, on, 4 of 4. Changes text to black or white and adds a border.
It adds a little bit more color contrast for low vision users to make seeing some of the text a little bit easier. So, in order to enable most of your accessibility settings, again, it's settings across the main menu, and then down within settings, we go over to accessibility, and right from there, we can enable and disable things as needed. I'm ready to go back to my home screen, and to do that quickly, I'll just hit my home button.
Home, 2 of 8.
And
Use left and right to move between items.
And that takes us right back to our home screen, and Voice View gave us a little hint on what we could do next using left or right to move through main options. Now let's take a little bit of a look at how magnification works. In order to use magnifier, we're going to want to make sure it's enabled, which we did through the settings accessibility menu. In order to turn on magnification, we'll use the key combination menu and play pause. The menu key is directly to the right of the home key, and the play pause is directly below the home key. We'll hold down menu, hit play pause, and now the screen is magnified. We have the ability to adjust the level of magnification by using menu and fast forward to make it larger, and menu and rewind to make it smaller. We notice that when our picture is magnified, we are not seeing the entire screen any longer. The screen is magnified larger than it's supposed to be, and so there are areas of the screen that are off or not visible. We need to use something called panning in order to see those other parts of the screen. The way we pan with magnification is we hold down our menu key, and then we use our 4 directional arrows. If I hold menu and go up, we'll pan up. Menu and down, we'll pan down. Menu and left, we'll pan left. And menu and right, we'll pan right. So using those combinations will allow us to pan around the screen. While we're magnified, it'll also follow our focus. So as we use our normal directional pad to move around,
Live, 3 of 8.
the magnification will follow our focus. We'll go ahead and turn magnification off by holding down our menu key and hitting play pause again. We now have the ability to use different types of adaptations, either voice view or magnification, to move around and access different areas of the Amazon Fire TV. The Amazon Fire TV stick allows us to access many different services, including our Amazon Prime. So if we're subscribing to Amazon Prime, we can access the movies, TV shows. If we've purchased or rented movies and TV shows through Amazon, that can also be accessed. We can install third-party applications such as Netflix and Hulu to access that content. In order to move around the different areas, we're going to use the main strip up on top, that main menu, and we'll use our right arrow. And let's go take a look quickly at how we can look at what movies may be available to us via Amazon Prime. We'll go ahead and use our right arrow until we land on movies.
Your videos, 4. Movies, 5 of 8.
Now that we've landed on movies, we can use our down arrow to go into the different movie strips, and we'll find all different options. If we continue using our down arrow through, first we'll land on a carousel of a couple different featured movies. Another down arrow will take us to movies they think we would like, that they'll recommend to us. When we land on a movie strip that we want to explore a little bit more, then we can use our right and left arrow to move through the different options, or in this case, movies, in that category. Once we land on a movie we're interested in, we can go ahead and hit our OK button, and we will go into that movie. Now, each time we land on a movie or even land on one of the categories, Voice View will speak out some hints about that category, either how to navigate it, or landing on a movie, it'll tell us about that movie. So let's go down and take a peek at movies that they'd recommend, and we'll go find one to maybe quick play.
Prime Video channels.
Down
4
arrow
of
again.
6. Movies we think you'll like. Bumblebee.
Perfect. Now
Prime
we'll use
button.
our right arrow.
The Aeronauts. Prime button.
Right arrow.
Transformers. Dark of the Moon. Prime button. Transformers. Dark of the Moon. 4.5 out of 5
We'll go ahead and hit
stars from
OK.
2004. Transformers. Dark of the Moon. Watch now options. 1 of 4.
And we now have
Use
some
left and right
options
to
here. We
move
have
between
Watch
items.
Now.
Customers also watched Transformers. Revenge of the Fallen. Button. 1 of 10.
We can look at other
Use up
movies
and
that
down
people
to
have
move
watched.
between rows of Transformers. Dark of the Moon. Transformers. Dark. More ways to watch. 4 of 4. Add to watch list. Button. 3 of 4.
We can add it to a favorites or a watch list.
Watch trailer. Button.
We
2
can
of
check
4.
out the trailer.
Watch now options. 1 of 4.
Or let's do Watch Now.
Transformers. Dark of the Moon. Watch now with Prime.
We'll go ahead and say OK.
Transformers. Dark of the Moon. Watch now options. 1 of 4. Loading. Playing Transformers. Dark of the Moon. Pause.
And we went ahead and paused the movie. So I am now done looking at movies. I'll go ahead and hit my home button.
Home. 2 of 8. Loading.
And as you can see, we were able to use both Voice View and the remote control to move around the movies strip or movies category, find a movie we were interested in, and start playing it back. Not only can we use Voice View in the remote to do a lot with the Amazon Fire TV, but if you remember when I was describing the remote control at the beginning of the video, I talked about the Amazon Alexa button or the microphone button. We can use our voice to do a lot with this device as well. Now, if you're familiar with an Amazon Echo, you know that you can ask it simple questions, the time, date, weather. You can do that right from the remote control by pressing down the microphone button. What time is it?
It's 1:20 p.m.
We can ask it the weather. What's the weather today?
Right now in Greendale, it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Throughout the day you can expect more of the same, with a high of 32 degrees and a low of 23 degrees.
Now, if you've incorporated some smart technology into your home, like a thermostat, you can also use your Amazon Fire TV and remote to both check the temperature inside the house. What's the temperature inside?
Inside, it's 67.
Or if you wanted to change the temperature, change the thermostat to 65 degrees.
The heat's set to 65.
So not only can you kick back and watch a movie, but you can also control the temperature, again, as long as you have a smart thermostat. Now, you can also use your voice to find content on the Amazon Fire TV. If you're looking for a specific movie, you can ask Alexa to find it for you. So we'll go ahead and press the button down. Play Bumblebee.
I can play that on Prime Video or Hulu. Which would you like?
Prime Video.
Getting Bumblebee from Prime Video.
And now it should load up that movie and start playing it back for us. What's cool about that is I didn't have to go through the menu strips, go through the movies, find the one I wanted. I was just able to use my voice and jump right into that movie and start playing it back. Another thing we can do with the Amazon Alexa button is, if you remember at the beginning of the video, we jumped into the Settings app in order to find the accessibility features. We could also use the Alexa button in order to open up Settings. Open Settings.
Here's Settings.
And it took us right to that menu strip, keeping us from having to press a number of buttons on the remote. So the Amazon Alexa integration can be a really nice and convenient way for you to access content on your Amazon Fire TV. The Amazon Fire TV can be a great addition to your living room, giving you an accessible way to access streaming material, again, like Netflix and Hulu. This is a second video in this series. First video, again, we looked at the Apple TV, so please feel free to take a look back at some older videos in our channel to take a look at that. We're going to continue exploring some more streaming options in some future videos here. One of the things we will be taking a look at is how to access Netflix and Hulu so that you can enjoy that content, but also, more importantly, how you can enjoy audio-described content both in Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. We release videos every Friday, so please feel free to subscribe to our channel. Click that notification bell so that you are notified when that next video comes out. If you'd like to learn more about the Amazon Fire TV or any technology, feel free to contact us. There's 3 ways. First, give us a call at 414-615-0103. You can send us an email, infocus@vision-forward.org, or visit our website, vision-forward.org. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned.